How to manage debt in the current economy. Welcome to our video on how to properly manage debt in the present economic environment. With debt levels skyrocketing throughout the world, it's more crucial than ever to arm yourself with the knowledge and techniques you need to take back control of your money. This video will provide you helpful advice on how to properly manage your debt, regardless of whether you have personal loans, school loans, or credit card debt. Stay tuned for further advice on preserving financial stability in an unpredictable economy. Number 13. Let's discuss the current state of the debt landscape. Starting with statistics, global debt reached record levels by 2024. Global public debt is $97 trillion, according to the International Monetary Fund. From the pandemic recovery to rising expenses and geopolitical worries, this surge has numerous factors. Emerging countries represent a major concern. Repayment of their debt is a large part of their national budgets, frequently at the expense of healthcare and education. One's own money seems no better. United States household debt reached $17.8 trillion in the second quarter of 2024. In the previous quarter, this rose by $109 billion. This has led to credit card debt over $1 trillion. Rising interest rates are making it more difficult for households to meet their financial obligations, thereby intensifying their burden. These data show the need for aggressive debt management. Number 12. Realizing the amount of your debt. Before delving into plans, it is necessary to have a solid understanding of your financial situation, including credit cards, student loans, personal loans, mortgages, and auto loans. You should compile a list of all of your financial obligations. Note the total amount owed, the interest rate, the minimum monthly payment, and the date that the obligation is due. With this, you will be able to prioritize which debts to address first. Number 11. Establish a budget that is accurate. For any debt management plan to be successful, budgeting is essential. The first step is to record your earnings and expenses for a minimum of 1 month. Divide your expenses into two groups: essentials, rent, utilities, food, and non-essentials, e.g., subscriptions, eating out. Once you fully understand your financial status, create a budget that prioritizes debt repayment. A general rule to abide by is as follows. Half of your income should go toward basics. 20% should be put aside for debt repayment and savings. You may spend the remaining 30% whatever you choose. If you have a large amount of debt, you should think about allocating a larger portion of your income to settle it. Numerous budgeting apps and tools are available to help you create and follow your plan. These include Mint, EveryDollar, and YNAB. You need a budget. Number 10. Decide on a plan for the repayment of your debts. To pay off debt, people typically employ one of two main strategies. The debt snowball method is a technique that entails concentrating on paying off your lowest bills first, regardless of the interest rates on those loans. Once you pay off a loan, transfer the payment to the next lowest obligation. Through the use of this strategy, you will experience a feeling of success and psychological momentum as you see your debts diminish. In the debt avalanche method, you prioritize the debts that have the greatest interest rates, which ultimately results in a greater amount of money being saved over time. Although the time it takes to observe improvements may be longer with this approach, it is the most cost-effective technique. Select the approach that is most congruent with the objectives and motivations you have with your finances. Number 9. Investigate the possibility of consolidating your debts. Your financial situation may be simplified via the process of debt consolidation, which involves consolidating various obligations into a single loan with a reduced interest rate. This may simplify both the management of payments and the overall amount of interest you pay. Among the available choices is the transfer of the balance. Credit cards often come with an introductory annual percentage rate APR of 0% for a short period of time. The consolidation of high-interest debts is one of the possible uses for personal loans. Leverage the equity in your house to get a loan with a cheaper interest rate via the use of home equity loans. However, consolidation may not be a suitable option for everyone. Make sure you have a complete understanding of the connected risks, costs, and conditions. Number 8. Engage in negotiations with debtors. Many individuals are unaware of the fact that creditors often have a willingness to bargain. If you are having trouble keeping up with your payments, you should get in touch with your creditors and explain the issue to them. They could provide the following: interest rates that are lower. We have reduced the monthly payment. It is a temporary leniency. Maintain an attitude of openness and initiative in your conversation. It is preferable to negotiate conditions rather than skip payments, which might have a negative impact on your credit score. Number 7. Seek the assistance of a trainer. Consider getting assistance from a credit counseling firm if you are feeling overwhelmed by the task of managing your debt. These organizations offer a variety of services, plans to control the debt, education in financial matters, and offering support with budgeting. Ensure that you are working with a recognized organization that has been granted accreditation by either the Financial Counseling Association of America, FCAA, or the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, NFCC. It is best to steer clear of businesses that promise instant fixes or charge exorbitant fees. Number 6. Refrain from taking on further debt. While paying off current debt, it is crucial to avoid taking on new debt. Here are some pointers to consider. For day-to-day purchases, you should make use of cash or debit cards rather than credit cards. In order to avoid having to depend on credit to meet unforeseen costs, you should establish an emergency fund. Put off purchasing non-essential items until you are completely debt-free. In order to achieve long-term financial stability, it is essential to develop the practice of living within one's means. Number 5. Maintain an awareness of current global trends. Greater economic considerations impact debt management, not just personal concerns. For instance, in order to fight inflation, central banks all over the globe have been increasing interest rates. This directly impacts debts with variable interest rates, such as credit cards and mortgages with adjustable rates. Maintain a level of awareness about the economic trends and policy shifts that may have an impact on your debt. Having knowledge is power, and grasping the wider picture will assist you in making educated choices about your finances. Number 4. Psychological effects of having a lot of debt. Debt not only poses a financial burden, but it can also significantly impact your emotional well-being. Those who are battling with debt often experience emotions of stress, worry, and feeling ashamed of themselves. Know that you are not the only one going through these feelings if you are experiencing them. Think about having a conversation with a reliable friend, someone in your family, or a mental health professional. There are also support groups available in many places for persons who are struggling with debt. You should treat your mental health with the same level of importance that you give to managing your money. Number 3. The importance of financial education. You can avoid future debt by improving your financial literacy. Gain an understanding of interest rates, compound interest, credit ratings, and various ways of saving money. The internet offers a wealth of free resources, including movies, articles, and courses. If you have a solid grasp of the principles of personal finance, you will be able to make more informed choices and steer clear of typical mistakes. Number 2. Perspectives on debt from around the world. Across nations, the amounts of debt are drastically different. Take Canada as an example. The country's household debt accounts for 102.21% of GDP. There is a household debt level of 72.93% of GDP in the United States. These numbers shed light on the varied degrees of debt that families all across the globe are required to bear. Understanding these differences can significantly improve the context of your current financial situation. Number 1. Bonus tips for long-term financial stability. Lastly, let's talk about some more ways to keep your finances stable. Build an emergency fund. Try to save 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses so that you have money to cover unforeseen circumstances like a job loss or medical emergencies. Invest in your future. After your debt is under control, start investing in stocks, retirement accounts, or other assets to build long-term wealth. Regularly, review your finances. Give yourself time every month to review your budget, monitor your progress, and make necessary adjustments to your plan. Celebrate milestones. Debt repayment is a journey, so keep yourself motivated by celebrating little victories along the way. Get our most recent updates by liking, sharing, and subscribing right now.